My name is Alex and I am a nurse. Right now though, I like to say I'm a professional nose swabber, swabbing noses for COVID, but in January I will be starting my maternal child nurse residency program in Greensboro, North Carolina with Cone Health. I am from Lake Charles, Louisiana, but I have lived all over the world. Each place I have lived has opened my eyes and has brought me to where I am now. As I mentioned, I work for Cone Health. I have only worked for them for about 4 weeks, but I have already swabbed over 3,000 noses. It has been insane. I have learned that noses come in many shapes and sizes, just like people. Some nasal cavities are way longer than others, and some people just really do not like having a Q-tip up their nose. But I have also learned the importance of empathizing and respecting those that I serve. Each morning I wake up at 6:15, but let's be honest, I really do not get out of bed until around 6:30. I start my day off with my favorite beverage, a smoothie. My position requires me to get there earlier than everyone else because I have to set up and make sure the site is all ready for us to begin swabbing. By the time we usually begin, we already have like 10 cars lined up, so it's pretty insane. My day is in full PPI, which makes it really hard, but each day is rewarding. Rain or shine, cold or heat, we're out there swabbing away. It's crazy that one day I can tell my children that I worked on the front lines of the COVID pandemic. In January, I will start my nurse residency program. I'll be working on the labor and delivery unit. Woo woo. Everyone told me that I wouldn't be able to start as a labor and delivery nurse, but I was determined to because one day I want to be a midwife. I literally applied to every nurse residency program in the region. I was turned down by a lot of them, but I knew this is what I wanted to do, so I kept on going. I eventually found the perfect fit for me and decided to move to Greensboro, North Carolina to begin my road to improving women's health. My road to healthcare was not a traditional one. When I graduated high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do. All I knew was that I wanted to help people, which is very broad. After my freshman year at BYU, I took 2 years off to volunteer for my church. I began as a volunteer in New York City, where I had the true New York experience. I lived in Jamaica, Queens, where I met hundreds of people who came to the United States to help give their families a better life. They inspired me to be better, to be grateful, and to work hard. After New York City, I was sent to Brazil. I saw families that lived in the poorest of conditions with no running water or electricity. I also learned to love a culture different than my own. One experience that changed my life was with a woman we would meet with each week. She had type 2 diabetes and had already lost multiple toes. One day, her feet looked extremely dirty. We learned that the person caring for her hadn't shown up in a week. If we didn't do something, there was a good chance she would develop an infection and lose her foot. We walked 5 miles each way to get her wound care supplies. It was so humbling to clean her wounds. That's when I really saw the difference one person can make in the lives of others. I decided then that I wanted to be the difference. When I returned to BYU, I decided to major in sociology and international development with the hope that maybe I would work for a nonprofit and travel the world. As I entered my last semester though, I heard a statistic that baffled me and helped me decide that that probably wasn't the right path for me. It was that the United States is the only developed country where maternal mortality rates are rising. As I began to research why, I learned that the healthcare system is full of disparities where many women are not receiving the care that they need. The more I learned, the more I came to know that I didn't need to leave the United States to make a difference. I was going to be a nurse. At first, I wasn't sure if that was possible because it was so expensive. And I would be taking out loans to pay for it, which honestly stressed me out. But the more I looked into it, the more I realized that this was the best path for me to make a lasting impact in women's health. I did a 1-year accelerated bachelor's program in Louisville, Kentucky. It was the most stressful year. There were times where honestly I didn't eat or drink much. It was just very stressful, but it solidified to me that I was on the right path. I graduated in August of this year. In February of 2022, I will start my doctorate of nurse midwifery. As a nurse midwife, I want to help implement plans to improve prenatal care in communities where women do not have the access to the care and support they need and deserve. This is my short-term goal. My long-term goal is to help create policies that eliminate disparities women are facing in the healthcare system today. Hopefully through my work, the United States will no longer have a rising maternal mortality rate. In case you didn't realize, being a nurse is everything. To be a nurse means that you see each individual as someone that deserves respect and dignity. My mom inspires me to be this kind of nurse. Many doctors and healthcare professionals brushed her situation aside and diagnosed her incorrectly. It took one healthcare worker coming in and saying that something was wrong, advocating for her, and getting the testing that she needed to diagnose her with Lewy body dementia. Since that day, she has been able to receive the care she's needed and has improved significantly. For me, what it means to be a nurse is to be an advocate, to make sure that your patients get the care that they deserve and need. As a nurse, I will be the difference.